Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. I've been saying this for a hot minute, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it. I love the fact that it's on Peacock now. I love it. 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 I love being able to watch it when I want. The minute it comes on at 6 o'clock in the morning, I can sit there and just watch it, and I'm good. Um, it's great. It's absolutely great. It for my schedule, it just works out. And plus, I don't have to sit down and watch it on YouTube anymore. So it just works out so beautifully. Really does. Um, I've made no secret in the past that I do not like Chanel and Allie. I find them to be the most obnoxious, annoying characters I think I've ever seen in a soap opera since Christina on GH. There was a point where I could not stand Christina. There was also a point I couldn't stand Jocelyn. I don't know why they feel the need to constantly make these young adults to be the most irritating people on the planet. You know, they're doing it with Stephanie now too. I mean, granted, she's not as bad as Alia Chanel, but girls work my nerves. Let's put it that way. Especially with her 180. But I want to talk about Chanel and Ali because I've been getting on Ali for a hot minute. And I'm like, Chanel's pretty annoying too. I don't really like her, but she hasn't been showing me that side to her yet. Until today. Because Chanel feels the need to talk about why Johnny is with Ava, and Ava's going to sit there and hurt Johnny, and, she's so much more older than he is, and blah, 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 blah. I was like, first of all, sweetheart, you are so wrong on so many levels. The fact that she's talking about, oh, it's so gross that, Ava's so much older than he is, we know damn well that if she met a hot woman or a hot guy that was older than she would have no problem with that. So the fact that that came out of her mouth was just like, bro, are you kidding me? On top of the fact that she is coming across hella jealous. Okay? Now, I may not like Allie, but even Allie can sit there and see how jealous she's sitting there acting. And then she tries to put on Allie like, oh, well, you know what Ava did to rape. You sent to tell me you don't care about your brother, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yo, Allie's not there calling you out and telling you the truth. And you're just too stupid to sit there and listen and hear. That's what it really comes down to. You know that she's right, okay? But instead of you actually admitting it, like, I don't know, an adult. Remember what she said way back when she said that, what was it? Maturity is overrated. Yeah, yeah. She said that, and I still remember that to this day because I was just like, any other words of wisdom you want to sit there and drop on us? So she gets all angry and she storms out like the little princess that she is, and eventually she runs into Johnny. Now, oh my god, these two are so obnoxious. I can't stand them. I think if I was any mattered, when I picked up that drink, I would have probably splashed it right on my face because I just don't like Allie at all. And this idiot decides to confront Ava. What are your intentions, my brother? None of your goddamn business. Johnny's a grown ass man and you have a relationship of your own. And then she has the audacity when Ava starts getting in her face because, she's pressing her and Ava's like, yo, this is none of your business. And, Allie's all like, oh, well, you agreed to be, we agreed to be civil, for the sake of Henry. Like, you're throwing it. It's not like she was throwing it. It was like, it was basically saying if she raised her voice any louder, she would have taken that as a sign of disrespect and would have probably made sure that Ava saw Henry, a lot less. I'm like, bro, you confronted her. And now you want to sit there and start talking about how she is, to make sure that she gets civil to you when you confront her, when you get up in a grown woman's face. But then you want to sit there and say, oh, if you're not civil, I don't know about seeing Henry that much. Like, God, I can't stand that woman. So she starts asking her a bunch of questions, and it's all like, and this is after Ava has to remind her that she dumped Trip after cheating on him to be with um Chanel, and that she was she was the cause of that pain. I, I swear, I'm just like, boo, you really should have had your ducks in a row before you decide to, confront a grown ass woman. Let's talk about Kristen for a minute. So Kristen is late to court because Shen is angry that he was kept out of the loop, he was woken up too soon, but everything worked out. And I'm just like, well, if that was the case, then why are you in the face for it? But he was just like, well, you should have kept me in the loop. Okay, well, she didn't, and everything worked out. So what's the problem? Like, you were there, and you even told Kristen that Gabby didn't, Steph didn't really have anything to do with Gabby. So what's the problem? Why are you whining for her? Like, seriously, why are you whining for her? Kristen gets to the courtroom, to the courthouse. The judge gave her extra time. I'm just like, yo, am I having does she got that judge in her pocket? Because when she gets there, she decides first, she's like, yo, listen, I fired my lawyer. You know? And granted, it was a really good idea because, the first thing she did was was get Chloe on the stand. And at first the judge was like, yo, this isn't like court, this is family court. Like, I asked the questions or whatever. But for some odd reason, she allowed it. I guess in the beginning when she was talking about how Rachel doesn't like Chloe, she was like, you know what, listen, okay, I want to hear her out. So Chloe started asking a question. Kristen started asking Chloe questions specifically about the fact that she kept she kept Holly away from Nicole back in the day. And granted, while Chloe had her reasons why, she still did it, you know? So she's painting Chloe in this negative light to make Brady look bad as far as a living situation and, everything like that. So she really goes in on Chloe. So bad that Bella's like, yo, listen, you gotta leave. Because if you want him to actually have a chance at getting full custody, she is making you the target and using it to talk about the scissors and the letter opener and everything like that isn't going to look good. Okay, she's just going to twist it around and going to make you look worse. Leave now. So she leaves. And towards the end of the episode, she sees Stefan. Well, Chloe sees Stefan. Um, Gabby was at the Demera crypt, and she pretty much was like, I'm not letting him go. I'm not letting Stefan go. And I'm just like, what do you mean you're not letting him go? You're engaged to Shen. What do you mean you're not letting him go? I mean, granted, I don't really. It's not like I have any love for Shen, but I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Yeah, seriously, she kissed him the minute that she saw him, the minute that she knew he was Stefan. She was begging for him to stay when Shen was right there. And now she's going to talking about she won't let him go. I'm like, you disloyal. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. And I know people are going to be like, oh, well, Chloe, Stefan was the love of Gabby's life and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I get that. I understand that. But I'm like, boom, you made a commitment. You agreed to marry this man. And now you're just going behind his back to be with the love of your life. If that was the case, then you should have told Shin to kick rocks right then and there. That's what I don't like. And I get it as soap opera fans. Sometimes, what we want is what we want, and it doesn't necessarily have to make sense. But I just can't, like, for me, I can't turn off that part of my brain. I can't, and I won't. Um, she goes to EJ, tell him that, Steph was alive. And at first, EJ's like, oh, great, another crazy woman. But she does manage to convince him that he's alive. And now he's kind of excited because he's like, yo, that means that the shares that Gabby has goes right back to Stefan. And he's like, you know what, listen, I have to deal with Ava another time, but if I can get Gabby kicked off, I'm good. Bell listening to telling Brady that what will close there that the chances they ain't looking so good. I mean, she pretty much like I'm gonna sit there and try to work my magic, but they ain't looking so good. And you know what? I don't feel bad for Brady. I really don't, because I'm like, bro, you should have just stuck to the original agreement, was to have joint custody. But you decided, no, I'm going to sit there and get full custody. I'm going to win and blah, 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 blah. And now things aren't going your way and you're looking pretty stupid. You're looking hella stupid right now. You should have just stayed in your own lane and you would have been fine. But no, 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 no. You have to sit there and poke the bear. You and Chloe have to sit there and just poke the bear. How's that working out for you, bro? Like, seriously, how's that working out for you? Oh, Johnny, how many times does Ava have to tell you to, I don't know, leave? You're at a point where you're sleeping on the floor. You're sleeping on the floor. She comes in and she's like, yo, what are you still doing here? I was like, oh, wow. Nice to see you too, Ava. But, she's been telling him, like, yo, you gotta go. Like, this has been only like one night. And, Johnny's asking questions like, oh, where am I going to go? And I can't use my daddy's money because, I wouldn't be sitting there making a point. I'm like, okay, well, what are you going to do then? I mean, like, you didn't really seem like you thought this through. And when EJ came to get him, you know, um, Ava was sitting there saying, like, oh, we're going to spend the afternoon together in bed and everything like that. She just did it to get under EJ's skin. And he was like, oh, well, I thought we were doing something today. I thought we had plans. So you said we had plans. It was like, bro, she told you to leave, and then she just told you that, and then she told AJ that you're spending the day in bed. And wait, you actually believe that? Really? Like, well, where am I gonna go? I'm like, I don't know, anywhere except for here. She's been telling you for a hot minute that this isn't really good. She needs to heal. She thinks you're a great friend. Been nice to her, but this isn't good. You're sleeping on her bed, and you're sleeping on the floor. You're ordering room service that, well, did you even pay for that? You don't want to use your trust fund. Are you planning on getting a job? Like, what's the scenario here, B? I mean, come on, bro. You're not making young people look too good right about now, B. Especially young guys don't want to sit there and go out with older women. I'm like, bro, ain't looking so good. Shen came in the room to look for Gabby. I mean, in her office looking for her, and the chair spins around, and I was gonna say Jake, and it's Stefan. And I'm not gonna lie, there was something about when he turned around and he had that serious look on his face, and I was just so hyped. I was so hyped. I am loving him being Stefan now. Don't get me wrong, I like him being Jake. I liked him being Jake, but as I forgot, hmm, Brandish, Brandison, as the actor pointed out that Jake was the everyday man. He was the common man. He was the guy that would sit there and eat fried chicken, greasy fried chicken with his hands. You know, Stefan is a little more polished. This was an interview with him and Dan whatever his last name I can't pronounce. But they were asking him, well, how are you how are you more like Stefan? Are you more like Jake? And he said he was a blend of both. But I honestly feel that the actor is more like Jake. I don't feel like he's like Stefan. I just don't. I don't know if that's true or not, but I just feel like he's more like Jake than he is like Stefan. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I wasn't too sure at first because I mean, granted, I'm like, okay, so now he's died, now he's dead, now he's coming back as Stefan, and I'm just like, I don't know because I'm still used to Jake, but now I'm loving it. I am absolutely 150% on board. Shen is asking questions like, oh, the type of questions that he's asking Stefan. Stefan pretty much assures him that, listen, if you're worried about me coming in between you and Gabby, don't. And one of the sentences that he said was, "She makes my stomach turn." Do you know how offensive that is to sit there and say to someone that you make their they make your stomach turn? Like, not sick, but stomach turn. Okay? If anyone has ever had a hangover or just was nauseous or whatever, that's what it feels like. So the fact that he was like, that chick makes my stomach turn, I was like, wow, okay. And EJ came to that door, sit there and try to get in his name for some odd reason. When he tried to get Johnny back, and then towards the end he was like, listen, I was just caring about my son's well being. I won't make that mistake again. Like when he said that he walked off, there was a clear like, oof. Like even I felt that. I was like, wow. So you're basically just saying that caring for your son's well-being is a mistake. Jesus Christ, that was harsh. That was harsh. I can understand why some people don't like EJ because he says things that are just like, I mean, they're incredibly hurtful. When you stop and think about it, they are incredibly hurtful. And granted, I love EJ. I do as a character. He's one of my favorite characters. But like Sonny, even back in the day, Sonny used to say some things. Sonny on General Hospital used to say some stuff back in the day that would be like, "Bro, are you kidding me?" And I'll never forget the one thing that Sonny said. And as much as I love Sonny, that that crossed the line for me. And if you watch GH, you know what I'm talking about. But this involved him being with um, Claudia Sakara after he cornered her with a bunch of men and everything. And they had a child that passed away. Um, she lost a child, and he pretty much was like, "I'm glad that our child passed away," or something like that. Well, he said something a lot more harsher, but when he said that, I was like, "Jesus Christ, that's I mean, that's cruel. That's that is extremely cruel." And although I like Sunny, it's one of those things in the back of my mind. I'm just like, and granted, that happened years ago. I think that was like between 2004, 2006, maybe give or take, or somewhere along those times. So yeah, no, EJ has said some incredibly hurtful things, and I'm just like, wow. I feel. Let me double check my notes. I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else that happened in this episode. So with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.